Hi there, I'm Sumit Bansal, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to convert numbers into words in Excel. Now, there are multiple ways to do this. The best one is using a VBA code. Now, the VBA code works in all versions of Excel, and it's quite flexible, so you can modify it using any AI tool. So if you can use VBA, that's the best way to do it. The second one is going to be a Python code. Again, easy to generate. You can use any AI tool. You can modify the code, but you will need Excel with Microsoft 365 to use it. The third one is going to be a formula. It's going to be a long formula, but the good thing is that you do not need to run a code. You can use it locally in your Excel if you're using the latest version. And finally, I'm also going to give you a web tool so you can go online, use that web tool, put all the numbers, and then download the file or copy and paste it in your Excel. So let's see how to use these. So here I have this data and I want to convert these numbers into words. Now I'm going to use a VBA code and I'm going to give you three separate VBA codes. One is to convert numbers into regular words, one is to convert it into US currency, and one is to convert it into Indian currency. So I'm going to go to this website and I'm going to give you the link of this website where I have this article and you can copy the VBA code from here. So if you come here in method 1, I have these three VBA codes. You can click on any of them and then it is going to take you to the VBA code, and here you can click on this copy button and copy this code. So this code here is going to take a number and return it as words without the currency. So if I go back to Excel, I can put this VBA code in the VBA editor. So to do that, I'm going to go to the developer tab here and then click on Visual Basic icon. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Alt F11. So hold the Alt key, press the F11 key, and it is also going to open the VB editor here. Now here in the VB editor on the left side, you will see this project pane. If you don't see it, go to the view option and then click on Project Explorer. Now here you will have objects of all the sheets and all the workbooks that are open. Right click on the sheet or the object of the workbook where you want the VBA code, then go to insert and then click on module. Now a module is a place where we are going to put the code and then it would become a function that we can use in the worksheet. So here I would just paste the code. You can see it's a long code and you can see it can manage thousands, millions, billions, and even trillions. Now this is a function which is called number to words, which is not there by default in Excel. It's not a built-in function, but we have created it using the VBA code. So now if I go back to my VBA, my regular worksheet, here now I can use this function. See what happens when I use number to words. You can see this function names appear here. Now I would take this argument, takes just one single argument, which is the number. So I would take the cell reference, and now when I hit enter, it is going to give me this value. And now I can drag this down and it is going to give me the values for all of these cells. Now you can see that it works with all kinds of numbers, with decimal numbers. It also works with numbers that have thousands and millions, and it would even work with billions and trillions. So this is a very simple and easy way. If you can use a VBA code, this is very straightforward. Also, if you want to modify the VBA code, put it in any AI tool. All the AI tools, even the free ones, are good enough that it will make the changes in one single shot. Now, let me show you the other VBA code as well. So I have three, I'll show you the another one as well. So here I have one for number to words for USD currency. So you copy this here, go back to Excel, and we are going to go back into the VB editor. Now what you can do is either put it in a separate module, or you can come down here and then you can just put it here as well. You'll have to just make sure that you remove this line option explicit because it could only be there once. So when I remove this line and now I go back, and you can see the name of this function is number to words USD. So now when I go back to Excel, I can now use this new function. So let's delete this, and you can see I have this new function available. And now when I hit enter, it gives me the value in with dollars and cents. Again, it is giving me the result in the format I have specified, which is and no cents. But if you do not want this part, you can modify the VBA code, and it gives you the numbers in the words in currency. Similarly, I also have it for Indian currency, where it will give you the words in lakhs and crores, because Indian currency system is different. If you want it in any other currency system, you can just take this VBA code, put it in any AI tool and modify it. So here again, I have this data and I want to convert these numbers into words, and I'm going to use a Python code to do this. Now, Python is available in Excel, but only for Excel with Microsoft 365 and Excel on the web. And even with Excel with Microsoft 365, there are organizations that are blocking it, because when you run a Python code, it is not processed locally, it is sent to a cloud container. So sometimes organizations feel that there is a data privacy issue. So if that's the case, then you may not be able to use this method, but otherwise you can, and it's a very simple way to use it. So here I'm going to use this Python code, and I'm going to give you a link in the description so you can copy this code from there. And if you want, you can modify this code using any AI tool. Now to use this in Excel, I'm going to come to this cell, then use equal to py. When I do that, you can see that it says create Python formula. So when I hit tab, it puts this py here in this cell in green color, and now I can put my code. So I've already copied it. Let me paste it here. Now you can see here I have the cell reference A2 which has the number, and now when I have to commit this formula, so I would use control enter. So hold the control key and press the enter key, and when you do that, it is going to run the Python code. Now as of now you can see it says 47, and then there is this py here. This means that this is a Python object. What you can do is come here to the formula bar, and here you'll see this thing here where if I click on this drop down, it says whether I want a Python object or I want the exact value. So when I click on exact value, it is only going to give me the value, and I can drag this down. Now, as of now, the code is built in such a way that it only gives me the words in smaller case, in lower case. But if you want, you can use any Excel formula like proper case or upper or lower to convert them. Or if you want, you can also modify the Python code. Now, in this case, it is words only. But if you want it in currency, let's say USD currency or INR currency, then again, you can just copy the Python code, put it in any AI tool, ask it to make the modification, and then use it. If for some reason you cannot use the VBA or the Python method, then there is also a formula to do this. Here I have these numbers, and I've used a formula to convert them into words. I also have the formulas for USD and for INR, so you can adapt these formulas. Now I'll show you the formula. It's a very long formula, and it took me a lot of time to make this formula. I also used AI, and I also referred to other sources on the internet, but then this is the formula that worked for me. Now, what you can do is put this formula in this cell, and then you can put the entire range here in one place, and then it is going to work for all of these cells. So this is a long formula. If you want to modify it, again, you can use AI tool or you can manually do it, but it's not as easy to modify as the VBA or the Python code. Now, in this case, I can also convert this formula into a named lambda. So in this case, what I can do is come here and use lambda, and then let's use a variable val, and then remove these values from here. So I would remove these from here, and then come here at the end and close the bracket. Now when I do that, I will get a calculation error because I've not given any input to the lambda. So now I can come here and I can check this formula if it works or not. So if I just select A2, it should work. It should give me the result. So it does work. It gives me the result. So what I can do is I can copy this part without this input that I gave. I can copy this part. Let's remove this. Go to the formula bar. Then here, click on name manager, and within name manager, we can create a new name. So what we are going to do is create a simple formula, something like numbers to words or N to W. And we can, instead of using the long formula, we can use that. So it makes it a lot more user friendly. So now when I click on new, it opens this new name dialog box. Let's call this N to W. And then here in the refers to field, I would enter my formula, that whole formula, and then click OK. And now you can see N to W has been created. Now when I come here, and I use N to W, it shows me this formula, and I can input this entire range, and this should work. And you can see this has worked. So instead of having that long formula, I just have a short version, and the long formula is in the backend as the name manager. You can do the same thing with the USD version as well as the INR version. You can see in the USD version, I have dollars and cents, and it will also handle decimal places up to 2 digits. That's how I've made this formula. If you wanted to handle more than 2 digits, you'll have to modify the formula. It will also handle negative numbers. So in this case, if I enter, let's say -312, it would put negative word here. And the same is with the case with INR, it would work. It handles these numbers, and it gives you the result in pesa, in lakhs and crores. So you can see here it has 8 crore 92 lakh and stuff. So these are the formulas. I will give you this file in the description so you can download this file. I will also give you a link to the article so you can go and copy the formula from there as well. If you do not want to get into the hassle of managing a code or working with a long complicated formula, you can also use this simple web tool that I've created. Now this is a simple HTML tool, so once your web page loads, you do not even need an internet connection for this to work. It is completely secure. Your data stays right in your browser. So I'm going to give you the link in the description. Now with this tool, you can either use the single mode option or the bulk converter. I'll show you both. So in this case, if I enter a single number, let's say 123.45, you can choose what number system you want, and it is going to instantly show you the result here. So in this case, let's say if I want plain, then it just shows me the words without the currency. And if I choose currency, it shows me the currency. And you can also choose Indian currency, and it'll show you the results in paise and rupees and lakhs and crores. If you want any other country's number system to be used, let me know in the comment section and I'll try and add it. Now you can copy this from here. It gets copied to your clipboard and you can paste it anywhere. If you want to do it in bulk, let's say you want to do it for hundreds or thousands of rows of data, you can do that as well. So let's go back to our Excel sheet. Let's copy this data, come here, and I'm going to put it here in this case. So each number in its own line. And now you make the selection, the number, let's say international US. Let's go with currency mode. And then when I click on convert all, it is going to do all the conversion. Then I can copy it from here. So I can copy and it gets copied. And you can also download the CSV file. So in this case, if I click on CSV or download Excel, it is either going to download the CSV file or the Excel file. As I said, this is completely secure. So everything is happening in your browser. You do not even need an internet connection once this tool has loaded. So this is again a very simple and free way to quickly convert numbers to words if you do not want to get into the hassle of managing a code or a complicated formula or working with Excel. You just want numbers to be converted to words and copy and paste them somewhere. So these are some of the methods you can use. I hope you found this video helpful. Also, if you're liking these videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you never miss out on any new Excel tips video I come up with. Thank you and have a nice day.